Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Happy to have you with us. And each and every day here in the channel, we're providing you the latest Seattle Seahawks news, rumors, breaking news, live shows, and more. We also have watch parties each and every game day, and it's all in one place. It's right here on the channel. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment of Seahawks Today. Subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. You have questions, and you're lucky enough that I have answers for you. It is time for our Mailbag edition of Seahawks Today, and this comes from our live show here on the channel where you guys send us questions and we react to them in real time. And so we will go ahead and get started with the questions that you guys have for us using the hashtag Seahawks. First one comes in from Darren. Darren wants to know thoughts on Jordyn Brooks' performance. Jordyn Brooks, right now, Darren, is fourth in the National Football League in tackles. An impressive number. Fourth in the entire league. Last year, he was second in the league in tackles. And with Jordyn Brooks, remember, this is an increased role that he's taking on with this Seahawks defense. This is something that we saw where he was handed the keys, right? Where when Bobby Wagner was gone, they handed it over to Jordyn Brooks to call the plays and be the leader, be the captain of the defense. And so far to this point, he's answered the call. I like what I've seen from Jordyn Brooks so far to start off 2022. Next question from Eric. Next Seahawks head coach. Well, I'll say this, Eric. It's not for certain that there will be a coaching change. I know that we had a video go out earlier this week with overreactions of people talking about firing Pete Carroll, but I still think it's a bit premature to talk about the idea of moving on from Pete Carroll at this point in time. Could there be a coaching change at some point? Sure, but the names that come to mind right now, if there were to be a coaching change, I would look at, first off, Sean Payton, the former New Orleans Saints head coach. He is going to be high on about everybody's list at this point in time. Then, if you're going to the college ranks, I would look at Lincoln Riley, the USC head coach, one of the best offensive minds in all of football for that matter. And then if you're looking within the NFL, when it comes to coordinators, I think you're talking about Eric Bieniemy there in Kansas City. That offense won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I know that there's been some conflicts of sorts with Patrick Mahomes, but Eric Bieniemy has been waiting for his name to get called for a head coaching job. Those are the three names that immediately come to mind if there were to be a coaching change, whether that's a retirement from Pete Carroll or whether Pete Carroll is fired. I think those are the names that come to mind right away for potentially being the next head coach for the Seahawks. Spintendo64 says, hashtag Seahawks, Papa Jones. Buddy, what are your thoughts on exploring DK in the backfield? No, absolutely not. There's no need to throw DK Metcalf into the run game. And I know people will look at Deebo Samuel and say, well, Deebo Samuel's incredible running the football, right? That what he's done as both a wide receiver and a running back. But the truth of the matter is that's such a rare thing, right? When somebody does both. And you put a lot of tread on the miles when you have guys working in both positions, especially in the running back spot. So I'm not interested in throwing DK Metcalf back there and hurting his long-term career, his long-term future, quite frankly. To me, that doesn't interest me. I'd like to see DK just stay right exactly where he's at as far as I'm concerned. The Seahawks have enough good backs anyway with Rashaad Penny and with Kenneth Walker, Travis Homer, DJ Dallas. They don't need to be trying to throw DK Metcalf back there, I think. Next one from Baloney. Baloney wants to know, is Geno Smith good enough? Well, let me put it this way. When you rank the problems of this Seahawks team, where things are at right now, Geno Smith is not very high on the list of issues for the Seahawks at the time being. Is he good enough long-term? No, not long-term, but he's good enough for the short term, for now. Look, this team isn't going anywhere. They're not going to be a playoff team. And Geno Smith knows the offense. He knows the system. And he's been fairly accurate at this point in time. Sure, he needs to push the football downfield more, but Geno Smith, for the time being, is good enough to get by. Not the long-term solution, but good enough in the short run to be the Seahawks quarterback as far as I'm concerned, where you don't even think about Drew Lock right now. Now, what say you? Is Geno Smith good enough for Seattle? If so, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Let me know in the comments section. Y for yes, in for no if Geno Smith is good enough. Dom Towney writes in, hashtag Seahawks. I've said Tariq Woolen was going to be a stud before the draft. I wanted to take him round 2. Instead, we got him round 5. And my biggest flex is I believed in him. P.S. Tank for CJ. He's referring to CJ Stroud there as far as that tank goes. Tariq Woolen's been outstanding. I love everything I've seen from Tariq Woolen at this point in time. And for him to go when he did, to be a 5th-round selection, a day 3 pick, and turn into a starter from day 1 for this Seahawks team, and not just a starter at nickel corner, but a starter from outside corner, that's a huge success. It's a great win for the Seahawks scouting department. It says a lot about him as a player, and we haven't even seen the tipping point with Tariq Woolen yet. The best is still yet to come. I'm excited what he brings to the table. As far as CJ Stroud goes, I do like Stroud better than I do Bryce Young, quite frankly. But I still hate using the word tank, quite frankly. I still think you need to put your best foot forward to try to win football games, but I see where you're coming from. The good news for Seattle, they do have 2 picks. So, in the way Denver's playing, who knows? Maybe that Denver pick's going to turn out to be a high pick. Next question from Mad Wolf. Mad Wolf wants to know, hashtag Seahawks, will Coby Bryant start at cornerback? Well, Coby, I have good news for you. He's already starting. He's starting at nickel corner. Now, you may be asking, will he start at outside corner? That's a possibility. We could see him there, but right now he's getting plenty of playing time. Coby Bryant is doing just fine, doing what's asked of him. Coby Bryant, I like what I've seen from Coby Bryant at this point. Starting outside corner, he's doing a good job, and we're going to only see more of him in the future. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sports book partner of Chat Sports. Use the promo code Seahawks125. You'll get a 125% deposit bonus. You go to chatsports.com/bet. You can bet on this weekend's NFL action. You can also bet on college football games, prop bets, everything in between. It's all in one place just for Seahawks Today viewers. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code Seahawks125 for 125% deposit bonus. Next question comes from Nate Smokes. Hashtag Seahawks. Trade for Drake London, sign Odell Beckham, and draft Bryce Young. Okay, let's break this down piece by piece. First one, not happening. Atlanta's not getting rid of Drake London. No. 2, sign Odell. I think Odell wants to play for a contender. I don't think he's signing in Seattle. And then 3, Bryce Young, could happen. I just said earlier I like CJ Stroud better, but Bryce Young's not a bad second option either. So, of those scenarios, I'd say Bryce Young's the most likely situation, but for all those things to happen, I think that's a bit of a reach. But nonetheless, Nate Smokes, thanks for chiming in. Veli writes in, hashtag Seahawks, after seeing Denver struggling this year, do you think we have a good chance of getting a decent pick from them this year? Well, think about this. So, Denver has struggled, and yet they still have not played Kansas City yet. They still haven't played the Los Angeles Chargers just yet. And some of the elite teams in the AFC. Denver is worse than I think most people thought. And they don't look like a playoff team. Nathaniel Hackett looks like a hack. Russell Wilson does not look like the quarterback that we saw in Seattle. Denver is on track right now to be the most disappointing team of anybody in the league at this point. So, yeah, that might just turn into a top 15 pick. That very well could. We'll see. But the way things are headed right now, I think there's a good chance that turns into a good pick for Seattle. Thanks for the question. Next one from Aaron. This defense sucks. Will it get any better? I hope it does. I mean, this defense isn't very good. I mean, we all know that. But the silver lining here is that when you look at this defense, there's young talent, right? We've talked about this over and over again. The Tariq Woolens, the Coby Bryants of the world are going to get better with time. So that's what I would say. As far as the defense, you may not like the product they're putting on the field, and it's not very good right now. The run defense is the second worst in the entire National Football League. But with young guys comes growth. And I think this group will get better over time. Not immediately, but it will take time. So, yes, I do think it will get better. How confident are you that the Seahawks defense will turn things around? Scale it for me in the comments section. 1 through 10. Let me know. 1 through 10, how confident are you that things will get better for this group? Got time for a couple more questions here. Next one from Wayne. Wayne wants to know, can we get a Seahawks legend guest on the Sunday Gamecast? Would love to have Marshawn, Sherman, Baldwin, or KJ. Who am I missing? My wish would be to see Marshawn chug a boot. Sean Alexander, I mean, who do you guys want to see? Here's the thing. So we do these watch parties for every game day here on the channel. And if you guys want to see a Seahawks legend, you know, we have modern technology, Zoom and all of that. We could bring them on. But you guys got to let them know that you want them here at the watch party. Or we got to arrange something, you know, Twitter DMs, whatever it may be. So reach out to them, reach out to me, and get back with me and let them know that you want them on the watch party. And if they want to come on, I'm sure we could probably arrange something to make something happen. But our watch party will be with you. We'll get started at 12:45 Eastern Time on Sunday, 9:45 out west. We'll be previewing the game, reacting to it in real time, and then do our live postgame show as well. So join us for our Seahawks Today live watch party coming up this Sunday. Worthless writes in, if you take any quarterback in this draft, who would you take? Where would you take them, and why? CJ Stroud's my guy. CJ Stroud is my guy in this draft. He is the one that I would put my money on. I think he's the most talented. I think he's the most accurate. I like his arm. He's got good mobility. CJ Stroud I like more. The other quarterbacks in this draft, I think there's a drop-off from. I think that we will see with this Seahawks team that when they add a quarterback next year, things will take a significant step up. That you have to have a quarterback out of next year's draft, right? And so if you add one of those pieces, then things are going to get cheaper for you, and they're going to build towards the right direction. So as far as I'm concerned, I would take CJ Stroud. He would be the guy I would lean towards, and then just build things from there and work it out piece by piece. So thanks for the question there, Worthless. Alex says, DK played better last week. Will the Seahawks continue to get him more involved? I sure hope so. DK played good, but let's be honest here. He has not played to his full potential yet. Last week was a step in the right direction, but look, we know the effort's there with DK. It's not a matter of DK giving his all. It's a matter of Geno Smith getting him the football in the scheme, opening things up for DK Metcalf. And I think they'll find ways to get more creative and get DK Metcalf more involved, quite frankly. So, yes, I do think we're going to see more DK Metcalf in the coming weeks as far as I'm concerned. Want more DK Metcalf? Well, spam 14 in the comments section if you want to see more DK Metcalf, if you want to see him take off and have a big year with this Seattle Seahawks team. Let me know in the comments section. Spam 14 for DK. A few more here for you. Wayne says, who would be the first-round draft picks from any of the Lions and Seahawks rosters? So I assume that Wayne is saying here, talking about if you had to redraft, okay? I would think that DK would be the number one overall pick. Quandre Diggs would be pretty high. I can't imagine Jared Goff would get picked very high. Brown would probably get picked pretty high too. Look, let's be real here. The talent levels of either one of these teams are not the best. So I don't know how many would be first-round picks. It would probably be just a few, but there would be some. I can guarantee that much. Next one, still flying. Can Tariq Woolen be the next Richard Sherman? I don't think it's fair this early on to say the next and mention a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer. So I'm not going to put that on him, Tariq Woolen, and say, yeah, he can be Richard Sherman. Because I think that's a bit too much to ask of. But I can tell you this much. I like everything that I've seen from Tariq Woolen at this point in time, that everything is headed towards the right direction. I'm not going to put that on him yet, but he's doing all the right things at this point. Everything that Tariq Woolen is doing has been really good. So I'll say that much. I'm not going to step out and say Richard Sherman, but I see where you're coming from, and it's looking good from Woolen. Temperers wants to know who will do better this week, Kenneth Walker III or Rashaad Penny? Well, in a perfect world, they both play good, right? The Seahawks at this point have been relying on Rashaad Penny more than they have Kenneth Walker III. So I would lean towards Penny just because I think that he's going to get more of a workload than Kenneth Walker III is. But we'll see. I like both running backs. I think Kenneth Walker III is going to be a stud in this league. But right now, the Seahawks are using Penny more than they are Kenneth Walker III. As always, you can follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything in between. It's all in one place, at Tyler Jones Live. You guys can follow me there, and I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.